The DCU, ladies and gentlemen, the DCU looks incredible. I'm here to talk about it today. I'm excited to talk about it today because Supergirl comes out in like a couple weeks. It's like a week and a half out, I think. I don't even know for sure. It comes out this month. I know it comes out this month, and I'm really excited. And I just wanted to talk about how great this whole universe is being set up. But before I get into it, I just want to say, hey, please subscribe. Please do that. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, like the video. I have 50 subscribers, so thank you guys for that. I know I'm already like one of the most famous people on the platform, so you don't really need to keep subscribing, but I just want to keep the train going. So, you know, just subscribe if you can. Alright, so let's talk about Supergirl. If you've seen the trailer for Supergirl, a lot of people are hating on it. A lot of people think it looks too Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, and I think that that's not a bad thing because Guardians of the Galaxy is fucking awesome, alright? One of the reasons I'm so excited to see Supergirl is because I'm really excited to see a fun superhero movie again. Like when I went and saw Superman 2025, which I will get into. I'll talk about that movie in a minute. But it's gonna be a fun superhero movie that doesn't have world-ending shenanigans and like Thanos destroying the entire multiverse and like all this bullshit. Like all the things that people are fatigued about with superheroes is the DCU is kind of lacking, which I think is great and it's awesome. A lot of people hate on the suit design and say it suffers from that like MCU-ification where they add a bunch of lines all over the place, and I'd say that I don't really mind it. Like it is a little too over designed, but like it's not to a point where it takes me out of it at all, right? Like I don't look at his suit and go, why? There's no reason that those lines would be there. Like it just looks like it's there to make the suit look better. Because the movie hasn't really come out yet, this section is pretty much over because the movie's not out. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I will be making a video on it when it comes out because I'm really, really excited for it. However, we're going to move on to the stuff that we've been seeing for Man of Tomorrow, which I'm even more excited for. They gave Lex Luthor a comic-accurate war suit. Finally, look at it. Just look at the picture that's on the screen right now and tell me that isn't the most beautiful, most sexy comic book thing you've ever seen put into live action ever. Oh my god, it looks so good. We were just talking about the suit. David's suit looks way better. David Cornsweat's Superman suit looks so much better. It looks a lot more skin tight. It looks like they might have even toned down the lines on the arms and on the body, but that might just be because the picture was like from far. The pictures are like from far away. You can't really make out all the details. Pretty much everyone kind of already knows what the plot of this movie is going to be. It's going to be Superman and Lex are going to clash for a little while after Lex breaks out of prison, probably, or gets broken out of prison. He's going to get the war suit. They're going to clash for a little while, and then based on the pictures that I've seen, it looks like while they're fighting, they're probably going to need to team up against fucking Brainiac, and Brainiac's going to come wallop the living shit out of both of them, and then be like, "I'll spare you." And his stupid Brainiac shit, because he's Brainiac, he's like, there's no way you're ever gonna be able to fucking come defeat me. You're not powerful enough. Some stupid shit, you know, supervillain stuff. Oh my god, I'm not that tired, guys. I swear, it's the lighting. But all the Superman stuff just looks so great, and it's so much fun, and that brings me back to what I want to talk about when Superman came out, because I didn't have a YouTube channel back then. Alright, Superman is one of my favorite comic book superhero movies of all time. It's so fucking good. I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. Superman brought this like era of hope, not only because of the movie's message, but towards like people who are in the comic book community. In this space for a really long time, people have been fatigued and tired because the storylines kind of feel extremely repetitive and they're just doing the same exact thing over and over and over and over and over again. And when they do make changes, the changes are fucking stupid, alright? So when Superman came out, it was like this, it was such a breath of fresh air. It just felt like, even though the scale of the movie is a little bigger than I would have wanted, where there's like a black hole threatening the entire planet, right? I think they could have done something where it's just threatening Metropolis, and that's what they should have done in my personal opinion. But it brought this era of like hope, because it still feels like such a grounded superhero story that we've been asking for so long. Like Go into the comments of any superhero movie trailer. It would be saying, God, I hate all this universe stuff. I wish we just went back to superheroes doing their street level stuff in their day-to-day lives. And I would agree with that to a certain extent. I think what we should expand on is we see a lot of superheroes in their day-to-day lives interacting with normal people that aren't superheroes, right? But I think we should have a street level superhero movie like a Spider-Man or a Daredevil where they're also teaming up with multiple superheroes and doing their day-to-day shit with other superheroes. Small scale like that works so well. It gives you that feeling that, oh my god, it's magic, it's superheroes. They're doing stuff that I could probably do that, even though there's no fun. You couldn't swing through New York City. You couldn't. Moving on. The movie felt so very grounded, even though there were so many characters that have these fantastical powers and there's these big fantastical monsters, and I think that's due to the world building, right? The world building in one movie feels so expansive and so grand and so, like, detailed. I could glaze this movie for 6 hours. Oh my god. Moving on. Batman. We're gonna talk about Batman in the DCU, and there's really not much to talk about in terms of, like, official stuff, so this is all going to be coming from my mind broth and what I personally want from Batman Brave and the Bold. Personally, I don't really like the idea of having Damian Wayne being the first Robin in this universe. I feel like we don't really need... Because Superman is so kind of early in his career, he's only been around for 3 years, I feel like Batman should sort of also be on that level. So I would have honestly preferred if it was Jason Todd. I wish they started with Jason Todd, and then maybe Brave and the Bold ended with Jason getting kidnapped and then sent the doctored footage, or Joker sends the doctored footage to Batman of Jason being shot, right?
Editor me here. I didn't realize that I was talking about the backstory for Jason Todd in Arkham Knight, the video game, but personally I like that backstory better than the Lazarus Pit. I think the Lazarus Pit is kind of like a stupid plot tool and whatever, but honestly it could be either, I don't really care.
And then we could have another movie where Batman is grieving over the loss of Jason Todd, and then he meets Damian Wayne, right? You can do the whole Damian Wayne regular origin story if you want to, or do some crazy spin on it. I don't really care how they meet. That's never been something that's that important to me. But then we have the rest of the movie being like ragtag, Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne trying to get along. Damian's stuck up his shit like he always is, and then at the end of the movie they resolve their conflict, and then the Red Hood, and then we can have that be the villain for the third Batman installment, right? That's just kind of what I would prefer, right? I want to see live action Red Hood. I really, really, really do. The potential for this character in live action is so good, like, but we're starting with Damian Wayne, so whatever the case, maybe it'll just be what I described, only without the first movie of it being Jason Todd, and then we won't have the build-up of Jason Todd dying and that emotional impact on Bruce, even though I think that's something that's really important to showcase. Granted, James Gunn did say he is treating the DCU like Star Wars, so it could be a thing where he makes a prequel Batman movie where he meets Dick Grayson, and then another prequel Batman movie where he meets Jason Todd. And as for the suit, I think we should go more classic, right? I don't think we should do a fully, like, bright blue suit. I think that's ridiculous and it wouldn't really fit, because I think there needs to be a contrast between Superman and Batman, and the suit colors is kind of, you know, it's just iconic. I'm kind of a merge bro. I kind of just want Robert Pattinson. I kind of just want Robert Pattinson. However, I will say that I'm glad we're not getting Robert Pattinson, because I do not like Barry Cohen's Joker so far, even though we haven't seen anything of him. I just hated that deleted scene. It was really bad, and I did not like it at all, for such a fantastic movie that it came from. Either way, there needs to be contrast between Batman and Superman, and then we can have our world's finest movie that literally everyone wants, and then... Okay, this is how I think the timeline should go, but it's probably not going to go like that, because he said it's like Star Wars. They're going to do like some crazy shit where there's prequels, and then there's like probably a movie that cuts to the future or something. Like who fucking cares, honestly? But this is kind of how I want the canonical timeline to go. All right, we're gonna lay it out right now. Okay, we have Superman. That can be canonically the first movie, right? And then Supergirl, and then Man of Tomorrow. That's fine. We can have these Superman trilogy be fine, right? And then we have Batman, Brave and the Bold, which I think should be 2 movies later, honestly. But that's probably not what's gonna happen. So what's probably gonna happen is there's gonna be Superman, Supergirl, Man of Tomorrow, and then there's going to be Batman, Brave and the Bold, and then I'm probably gonna guess that there's gonna be Batman Under the Red Hood or something along those lines, like alliterative title, whatever they're gonna title the movie. If they do Red Hood, please do Red Hood, please do Red Hood, please do Red Hood. Then I want them to do a World's Finest movie where Batman and Superman meet, and then maybe they can scuffle at the very, very beginning. Not like Batman v Superman, not like Batman v Superman. Do not do anything like that. They should not be fighting for they should only be fighting at the very beginning of Act 1. Okay? No, 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 no. And then they team up to go stop, like, fucking Doomsday, or whatever the fuck, who cares? I don't really care about the villain. I'm just so excited to see these heroes that I love finally get done justice on the big screen together, right? Because we know that Superman and Batman are gonna talk, which is something that's, like, fucking revolutionary, at least since the year 2000, alright? They just haven't been in a live-action adaptation that's been good, alright? We're not gonna talk about Justice League. That's not a real thing. That didn't happen. No. I hate it. Alright guys, I'm sorry, this video has been incredibly rambly. I just wanted to jump on, talk about the DCU and how excited I am for it, right? I think there's so much potential for this universe, to the point where I honestly think it could probably end up being better than the MCU ever was, because James Gunn worked on the MCU and saw how the MCU went and the mistakes they made and how to improve it. I feel like it's probably going to be a much more cohesive, fantastical, fun, comic booky story than the MCU, because the MCU, I also think, takes things a little too serious sometimes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, like I said in the beginning, please leave a like, subscribe, do all that stuff, turn on the notifications so that YouTube knows to push my content to more people so that I never have to get a real job.